Hey everyone, welcome back to our next Escape from Tarkov Hideout video. It's early wipe. Most everybody at most has level 1 modules, and a lot of people don't even have the Flea unlocked. So let's talk about the crafts that are most utilitarian for you that help you out, as well as ones that can make you a little bit of profit once you do get the Flea unlocked. Now, pre-Flea, there's not a lot to do. You can make money here. There's a little bit, but it's not really worth bringing up. It's mostly about utility. And the crafts that I used the most before I had the Flea were crafting scav backpacks. So I had backpacks, as well as crafting weapons. Now, let me get this accepted here. Being able to craft like AKMs, AK-74Ns was huge. It allows you to have 2 guns that you can't buy and be able to use them. And then after that, over at the Lavatory, I was mostly crafting CMSs, occasionally a Salewa, but the CMSs you couldn't buy, and it was great to be able to fix black limbs. But at the nutrition unit, there's not a lot there. It's mostly just task stuff, doing Tushunkas or the Urska lunchboxes for Jaeger and therapist tasks. Keep in mind, though, if you are doing this task, you don't have to buy these croutons. If they're even available, they're really expensive. Therapist has this kind of awkward process where you can buy, where's it at? Let me buy it. I have barter set. You buy a Ameliorai for 13,000, and then you barter that Ameliorai for a crouton, and then it'll let you craft your Tushunka, which is what I've mostly been doing just to get that general wares task done, which I think is 15 of these things, and get that done and out of the way. Now, once you get the Flea, your options really open up, and we'll start off at the med station first and talk about what's available here and what to do. Now, straight up, just buying stuff and crafting, you can't make money doing that unless you can find car med kits really cheap. But if you're using car med kits that are like 20 use, 50 use, 100 use, whatever, if you get them out of your scav, you get them out of raid, maybe pick them up on fence, whatever it may be, if you can get those car med kits and basically consider them used and not have much of a cost to them, then you can make money with Salewas or CMSs. Now, we'll primarily talk about Salewas. You know, figure a 2,000 or nothing cost on your car. You buy your S-merches for 3,700 or cheaper if you get them out of raid, I guess. Maybe you can get them off a fence too. I haven't been able to yet, but you might be quicker than me. Then sell your Salewas for 32,000. It'll net you about 15K in profits per craft, which is about 24 an hour. But I have a hard time keeping up with this. I'm usually not constantly crafting anything in here because I just can't get the car med kits for that cheap. Now, if you're buying them for the cost that you get them from the trader, which is like 11,000, you're not going to make money because the flea market fee basically eats away all of anything you would make in profit. So that's the hang up there, is trying to get that about 4,000 rubles cheaper to craft the Salewas. Now, before I forget, mentioning it here, yes, I'm using tarkovmarket.com. It's super helpful. The graphics are nice, and it allows me to input prices and change things quickly, and it's not confusing for you guys. That's why I use it. They've got a lot of tools on here that are available without the $5 Patreon. I have the $5 Patreon, which gives me access to this stuff that I'm doing right now. Now, hopping over to the nutrition unit, we have a little bit different of an animal here. Like I said, crafting mostly for tasks right now, but you can make a little bit of money with the energy drink if you count your water bottles as drink up. Like if you drink them down to 1 to 60 and use that water bottle here, and then craft your 4 energy drinks, you'll be able to make a little bit of money doing that. And really what it boils down to is just that idea that the water bottle doesn't have any cost to it. It'll make you about 10K per craft buying everything else. Obviously, if you get this stuff out of the raid, you can save a little bit of money versus, selling it that way or using it or whatever. But that's about it for the nutrition unit. And I don't craft much here at the nutrition unit simply because of what I use my used up water bottles for. I use them over here at the Lavatory to craft scav backpacks. So when I drink one of my water bottles down to 1 to 60, I buy an MBSS, I buy a fleece, I craft a backpack. And then when I'm done with that, I sell my backpacks I try to push about 40,000. Sometimes you're down in the 25, 30K. But if you can push 40,000, great. You're going to make about 35,000 per craft and just walk away with a bunch of money. But if you don't want to go through all that work, there's actually a really easy craft here that makes you a ton of money, and it's making toilet paper. You know, who would have thought that toilet paper in a post-apocalyptic world would be super valuable? But as you can see, I'll come in here, I'll buy this printer paper for 13,000. You can craft it into a toilet paper. It takes 25 minutes. It's pretty quick. And that toilet paper will sell for 10 to 12,000, sometimes 13, 15, depending on the time of the day. So with that, you're almost doubling your money, if not more, because flea market fee taken into account and stuff like that. If we're selling these for 13,000 and we're getting our paper for 13,000, we'll say, you're making 9,000 in profit after your flea market fees and everything else. But it's an easy craft. It doesn't take anything, and it's simple. Now, along with that simple is doing the sling craft and selling your Kurdura, though it doesn't make you much money. It is a good craft to alternate. I'm doing paper and scav backpacks right now. But over at the lavatory, the workbench, you have a ton of options here. But we're going to look at the very first one. It's the most profitable. It's the easiest. It's wires, and it's always wires. If you're ever in doubt in a wipe what to craft, just craft wires. Now you want to try to get these under 40,000, or I'm sorry, 45. So we got those pretty cheap at 40. We're going to craft these. We're going to turn them into wires. You can use these in tasks. You can use them to upgrade your hideout, or you can use them to sell them. They're super versatile craft early wipe. But if you're getting your wires for under 45,000, I'm sorry, your power cords for under 45,000 and selling your wires for 20,000, you're going to make 40,000 per craft. It's right around 20,000 an hour. It's a pretty good amount of money. Now the craft that is better than that is this VPO 209 craft. And I wish I hadn't hit start on that wires craft because I want to show you this, but long story short, you don't need to buy this VPO 209 from Skier. You don't need a full-on VPO 209. Once you get stirrup done, this unlocks and you can buy this from Skier. But more importantly, you can get these really cheap from Fence. And I'll walk you through this process because I will craft this. I've done this a couple of times already, so it's no big deal for me to do it now. Come into weapons, carbines, carbines, however you want to say it. I really don't care. Don't give me a hard time for saying carbines, or I'm just going to say it more often. But you can get one of these VPO 209s for like 13K here, right? But it's red. You can't craft with that. Oh, it's already sold. Somebody bought it. Let's see if we get the 15K one. There we go. We got the 15K one. Let me get back to my inventory. And you have to have your workbench to do this, obviously. But you can come in here and go to edit preset. All you need is a gas tube, a handguard, and a pistol grip. So I come in and I buy, oh, we don't want to do it here, sorry. Link search and buy your cheapest pistol grip. So we got 806 there. And let's find the cheapest gas tube. 2,300 for the gas tube, then link search the gas tube, and then just buy your cheapest grip. So 8,500. So we're what? 4,000 rubles we just bought on this top of the 15K. So we're 20,000 on our VPO 209. Let's get the handguard on and the pistol grip. And as you can see, it's a complete, this will craft now, decraft. You can turn this into weapon parts, whatever you want to call it. I wish I hadn't hit the start craft on the wires because I could show you exactly, but that craft is right, where is it at? Weapon parts. Right here. This craft right here turns it into 2 weapon parts. And if you do that, like, look, we'll just put 20,000 in here because that's what we got that one for. And you can do it even cheaper, as you saw. And you're selling your weapon parts for 45,000. You're going to make nearly 52,000 per craft. That's 40,000 an hour. It's a great craft. It's great money. It's a little bit of work, but it's not that bad. And if you apply this principle to the other crafts, like crafting an AKM, I've been selling my AKMs at 50,000. But again, you can do the same thing with a Vepr 136. It's a little bit different of a gun. But let's say you do it for 20,000 as well. You buy this part off a proper. This one's going to make you about 17,000. Or you can use the AKM. You know, you're crafting the AKM for like 25,000 rubles. That's the cheapest AKM you're ever going to get. And then the same thing with the SKS. You know, it's got 41,000 in here, but if you go to Fence, I'm sure there's SKSs in here. Yeah, see, you can get one for 18,000. Turn that into weapon parts. Let's go back and look at what the pricing is. Right there, 18,000 in profit. So all of these weapon crafts, including the AK-74N, which you can buy these parts as well. You craft weapon parts, you turn this into a big loop. I did a video on how to loop those. I'll throw a link down in the description for that. Great crafts in the workbench, lots of options. So keep that in mind. Now, a few things before we wrap this up. Crafting skill. If you want to level that up, you need to alternate your crafts. Crafting is a super powerful skill if you level it up. It helps out all wipe long, but it is kind of a pain because you can't just craft back-to-back crafts. You have to switch between scav backpacks and toilet paper, or weapon parts and wires, or whatever. You just have to have a different craft each time to get the most skill points out of it as possible. And then on top of that, the fastest way to level up hideout management is basically just keep your fuel burning and filters. But keep your hideout running nonstop. Don't turn off your generator, except maybe at night because you can't constantly craft. But if you turn off your generator during the day between crafts, you're not burning, you're not making money, you're not leveling up your hideout skills. You can craft and make money. Fuel is super, super cheap right now. It was last night. Let's see if it still is, and I'm not made a liar. Yeah, 40, 50,000. 30,000, and keep your blue tanks because you'll eventually be able to turn those into mag cases or sell the blue can. These will get really expensive here. As soon as people start getting more and more stuff unlocked, the blue cans will get really expensive first. But keep those. Metal cans you can craft into flechettes and things like that. But fuel's cheap. One craft will pay for a fuel. Just keep your fuel burning and level up your hideout management. But we'll finish with that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you see these when they first drop, so you can take the most advantage of them, because it does affect the market for a little bit, for a day or two. Not a lot, but some. If you've gotten this far into the video, you definitely like the video, I would assume. So do me a favor and hit the like button. But we'll wrap it up there. Appreciate you guys watching. Wish you the best of luck in your raids, and we'll see you in Tarkov.